From that point, we'll let Sam rest for a second. Okay, from that point, when we've gotten to the spot, we've chosen the right timing of presentation and heel, when we get into our rocker step, we really have two primary options. Okay, one option is a 4-step progression. The other option is a 2-step progression. Okay, when we look at steps, we're looking at, after we field and we come up, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, our goal is to cover ground towards the bag. Okay, and the factors that will make a determining decision for you on which step progression to use are a few different things. One, how hard was the ball hit? The harder it's hit, the more time you have, right? And a lot of errors come from, we field a really hard ball and we throw it right away. Okay, that's a ball that we want to take our time and take a 4-step progression. Okay, another factor is how far do we have to move, right? If it took us a while to get there, we're gonna have to get it out in 2 steps. Okay, how fast is the runner? What's the ball direction? Okay, what surface are you playing on? Grass, it doesn't get to you as fast as turf. So a lot of times on grass, we're living with the 2-step progression, whereas on turf, we have more time for the 4. Okay, what depth were you playing? Okay, so a lot of different factors, and your goal in your mind is develop an internal clock that when you're making plays in practice, every play you make should take 4 seconds or less on a full field. Okay, if you're indoors like we are right now, okay, we bump that down to 3 seconds or less, ideally in their mind, because throws are a little bit shorter and the field is condensed. Okay, but the development of an internal clock and understanding of how to get it out, when to get it out, becomes really, really important as you start to get older and start to play against better talent. Okay, so we're going to have Sam go through from the start here on a direct ball. I'm going to slide you over just a tad here. Going through a 4-step progression. Okay, stop at rocker position and then just show it just for 1 second and then show it from there with full funnel or press, whatever you want, 4-step progression. All right, so he gets around the ball, gets to his rocker, funnels, takes 4 steps, and he's good. Okay, 4 steps is 2 shuffles. There's a lot of coaches that, we'll talk about it as 2 shuffles versus 1 shuffle. Okay, totally fine, whatever language you want to use, as long as players understand what you're talking about and you get to the right spot, right? So that would be a 4-step progression. If you'll notice his shoulders, when he does this again on a 2-step progression, typically on a 2-step, we stay a little bit lower, and our arm slot, instead of having time to get all the way over the top, is just a little bit lower and on the side because we're coming through and have to get it out quickly. Okay, so here's a 2-step progression on a direct ball. Back to rocker, come through, lower slot, and follow. Okay, Sam does a really good job if you watch on that release. We're not stationary right here, right? We don't want to throw and spin or throw and stand. We want to throw and follow towards the throw that we just made, okay? That's going to give you direction and momentum on that throw, and it's going to keep you from teetering up or teetering down and struggling with making throws above or below that first base bag. All right, when we go into that, okay, we'll get into glove pattern of funnel versus press here in a minute. All right, but when we go into that, breaking it down on a backhand and glove side ball as well, everything that we do, backhand and glove side, okay, will primarily be in what we call a 1-hand lane. So we have 1-hand lanes, we have 2-hand lanes. Okay, anything in a 2-hand lane, if you just put your hands up right on the outside of your shoulders, okay, anything there or within is a 2-hand lane. We can catch with 2 hands, we can field with 2 hands, we can transfer quickly. Okay, anything outside of there, okay, now if I go to field it with 2 hands, my body is turned, so my momentum won't pull me directly to the bag. So we have to sacrifice that second hand to make sure that our direction is correct going to first, and trust that we have the glove actions and the footwork that we need to be successful in that way. Okay, a lot of young players, that's their major area of struggle, is that everything for them becomes a 2-hand lane, and then we field a lot, but we don't have enough on the throw or any momentum towards that to actually make the play. Okay, so if we were to set you up just right over there, okay, ball right here, moving to our glove side, go ahead and hold fielding position once you get there. Oh, there you go. So if you look, okay, right hand goes a couple of different places, and we want it comfortable for the fielder. Okay, ideally when we teach it, we talk about keeping it in the holster. So show us where the holster would be if you put it there. Okay, that's just a teaching point. It does not 100% have to be there all the time. That's just a great spot for a young player to show them where to have their hand. Okay, Sam's a little bit more relaxed, so he drops his down a little bit, and that's totally fine. It's in a good spot. All right, big thing is, if you reach across, go ahead and reach across to make it a two-hand lane with your hands. Okay, if you see shoulders, now when he fields this, he's going to have a hard time getting shoulders turned back to first base because we're already outside of our own core. Okay, so when we go one-hand lane here, all right, this movement, which we'll get into in a second, versus press versus funnel. Okay, for Sam in a one-hand lane, he's going to press through this, so go ahead and press through on a two-step progression. Okay, go ahead, boom, and he's up. All right, so same movement pattern of approach. Okay, get right back down into that fielding position real quick. Okay, a couple big notes to see. One, we still, move your glove for 1 second. We still have, just get out of the way, still have rocker step right here. Okay, a lot of players, go ahead and lock this knee out, straighten that leg. A lot of players, when they think rocker step, they think they have to have a straight leg. Okay, we still want bend and adjustability in that. So we keep this knee bent. Go ahead, bend it, you're good. Back up in that spot. Okay, from that spot, all right, ideally we want to press through a lot of things in a one-hand lane. So when we talk press, where people struggle is go ahead and sweep this straight across. A lot of players struggle with a sweep action. Okay, and when we sweep, if we don't have top hand on ball, it's really easy to throw the ball over our right shoulder. Okay, so when we press, what we want to do is imagine something's just pinching right here, and you're pulling from this spot straight up to your right shoulder. So go ahead and slow-mo, boom, right there. Okay, notice where that transfer is right now. Okay, his hand is up by his ear. Okay, another common problem on a press action is go ahead, bring it back down, and now reach to pull. Reach that other hand. Is we go there, and now we have to create our own lane from that transfer. Okay, so teaching that patience for a fielder of being able to get there and transfer up at the shoulder is really, really important, because if we transfer in the middle, now a player has to create their own slot rather than having their glove pattern automatically create their slot. Okay, so transfer location becomes vital in a press movement or in a one-hand. All right, so that would be a routine ball up the middle. Notice elbow is inside of knee when he goes down, and we want to field it inside of that foot. Anything outside of it, okay, it's going to happen sometimes in a game, and we'll show you how to do that, but we don't want to be behind our toe and limiting the amount of ground that we can cover with our glove. Okay, if we were to flip him and go on the backhand side now on the approach, when he approaches this ball, prep step, we get there, okay? Now, notice, big thing, pull glove up just for a second. If you see where right foot is in comparison to the ball, a big problem for a lot of young fielders when they're fielding backhands is we get to a spot, pull your right foot outside the ball. We get to that spot. And now when we go down, we end up having to reach, go ahead and reach down for the ball. And if you see where shoulders are, it's really easy to just fall forward into that, and now we've lost all momentum to make a throw. Right? So we want to see right foot clear the baseball. So go ahead and get back to your regular spot. And if you notice his feet, he is not square to you at the camera right now because his momentum is already pulling him back towards first base. If you have players that struggle with backhands, they're going to overrun this ball into a direct ball and kill all of their momentum. Okay? So from this spot here, you'll notice the ball is about even with his front toe. If it's farther out where he fields it, so extend glove out, you'll notice his body starts to teeter forward, and then when we field from there, we typically teeter back and we launch that throw. So that ball placement is really important, that you're fielding it even with or slightly behind that front foot so that you can rake through that or press through on a two-step progression.